There you go. So it was good that we didn't have a lesson. Hello, Ethan. Good morning. All right, now let's go up here, and I'm going to quiz you, hot shots.
Oh, no.
Okay, not an actual quiz, just
Yeah, but like,
all right. Show that thing out. All right, here we go. In this case, Untitled. Oh, not very close. There we go. Here we go. If I have this, and I have, oh, I don't know, X here, Y here, 5, 9, 12. Okay, in this case, I want to know all 6 trig functions that go with X. All 6 for X. In the meantime, here's what I need. I need all the Chromebooks. Go ahead and close them up. Let's go ahead and put all those phones in our pockets or in our bags, not under our leg. And let's make sure our little watch phone things are covered up so that I don't have to mess with that and be angry about that either. All right. With that, here we go. What's the first trig function? Waiting for somebody to exhale.
what does it start with?
You know, that's a great question. Let's do that. What's the easiest way to remember?
5. Oh, that's.
So, the, ka, toa, and then?
So, oh my God.
There you go. Now, so, does that help? That's what it starts with. All right, what do you got?
It's sine, so it's
Sine of X.
5 over 12.
And she says 5 over 12. Where the heck did she get that? Oh, it's opposite over hypotenuse. Is that correct?
Yup.
Okay, which side is opposite X? Yeah, it's all the way over here. And which one's hypotenuse? How come the 12 is the hypotenuse? Somebody give me a reason.
It's the longest.
It's the longest. I love that answer. There's another good one. It's also across from a 90-degree angle. And why is it the longest? Because it's across from the 90-degree angle. Both of those things are true. Very good. By the way, what do we call this one then? It is a leg, and it is specifically, not pacifically, specifically, this dumb mess today. I pulled the wrong one. This was like out of the cup holder because like the good ones are in the laundry. It's adjacent. Why is it adjacent? Because it's right next to it. Does everybody agree with that?
Mm-hmm.
So we can go cosine of X. Cosine would be 9 over 2. Who said adjacent? Who said it? Was that you? That's perfect, because the first thing your brain ought to do is you say, cosine adjacent over hypotenuse. That's the first thing your brain ought to do.
Yup.
It's like adjacent, got it. And hypotenuse, got it. Done. That's how your brain ought to work. Okay? Now we got tangent. Tangent of X is opposite over adjacent, 5 over 9. Nailed it. You guys are already better. Good job. All right, go team. All right, so now let's go cosecant of X, secant of X, and cotangent of X. Okay, cosecant of X, 12 over 5. Secant of X, 12 over 9. And cotangent of X. How come you're so fast with that, Carter?
Because it's the opposite of the other one.
Oh, air high five. Good job. She says sine goes with cosecant. They're just, now we don't want to say the word opposite because that'd be like negative, but can we say reciprocal? Do you just, oh, flip it, flip it, flip it. So flip, flip, flip. Does everybody agree with that?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, well, that's easy. Now, let's switch colors. Sine of Y. What's sine of Y? Banning. Now, I asked you a hard question. Here's why I asked you a hard question. Sine is made up of what? It's O and H, right? Okay, here's my question. Which side is opposite of Y? What's on the other side of the triangle from Y? The X would be the angle on the opposite side. She's 100% correct. So since we switched angles, instead of 5 is the opposite, what side is opposite Y? 9, just like that. So 9 is opposite if I'm talking about Y. Do we agree? Where's adjacent if I'm talking about Y? What doesn't change? 9. Which side doesn't change? The 12, because is the hypotenuse is the hypotenuse. Because it's still across from the 90, it's still the longest side, isn't it? So here we go. Sine of Y. Sine of Y. What's sine is?
Oh, the O.
Yeah, the O, which is over. Hypotenuse, which is? Perfect. Cosine. Baker. All right, Lonnie. Yes. What's opposite Y? What's adjacent? Done. So now we want cosecant of Y. What's cosecant? Perry. 12 over 9. Secant of Y. Powell. 12 over 5. Schmoll. Cotangent of Y.
5 over 9.
Nailed it. It is. Can we do all 6? Okay, cool. All right, excellent. Just for fun. What's X?
1.
Okay, it is 1 root 2. Does everybody agree? So if this is 7, 7. How big is this?
7 root 2.
7 with a root 2 behind it. Does everybody agree with that? All right. 12xy. Okay, what's x?
6.
6. Now, here's y. Remember, 1, root 3, and 2, because 1's across from 30, root 3, and then the 90 is the 2, correct? So what's true about this? If this is 12, this has to be exactly half. What is big? Half is big. Does everybody agree? How come I found this one first? Because then all I got to do is slap a root 3 on there and I'm done, right? I'm done. Good. Everybody get your cell phones out.
Whoa, that's a first.
I know, right? Calculators are cell phones, but cell phones are always on you, so it's probably that one. All right, are we ready? I have something that is 100 foot long here, and this is 22 degrees. Here's what all this stuff is used for. Y and X. Tell me how to find Y. Tell me how to find Y. What would I use?
Sine.
I would use sine. Why would sine be a great one to find Y?
It's opposite hypotenuse.
Okay. Am I looking for the opposite side? Is that true? Do I know the hypotenuse? So, what in the name of all things good and holy? I don't know. I'm good. You all can live that one all day long. Yeah, that would be the door that Mr. Moore broke. All right.
Wait.
You think I'm joking? I'm not joking at all. I'm broke for months. It's in the teacher's lounge. They had one of the door closer things on one of the doors there, but instead of bolting it all the way through when they built the building, they just put it in with like screws. So I went to open the door and literally the door opened just went and peeled right off the door. I'm like, Hulk smash. All right, so either way, SOHCAHTOA. Which one of these makes the most sense? So, because of it.
Go, Kylie.
So sine of 22 equals y over.
100.
Okay, now this is where you need your phones. You ready? Find me the sine of 22. Go to your calculator. You have a calculator on your phone.
Yeah,
right?
I know, I'm like looking at that.
Okay, now, for all you iPhone board, turn your phone sideways. Is it an Etch-a-Sketch or you're rebooting it?
Turn your like lock
You turn your screen.
Wait, I did. What?
It is on.
All right, if you turn it sideways, you should see the sine, cosine, tangent button, right?
Yeah.
Good, so hit sine 22. Tell me what it is. So,
Oh, I got
so do
it.
22, then hit the sine. Is that how the Apple phone works? 0.374 what?
4, 6.
Perfect. All right, 4 decimals is fine.
Mine's like in the trillion. Mine's in the negative.
Yeah, mine's a negative.
Mine was negative zero.
Okay, everybody go back, hit clear. Hit
I might have
22. Oh, good Lord, yeah. Yours is pointless. Okay, so here it goes. Do 22 and then hit the sign button.
I got it.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
That's how you hit hyperbolic sign. Oh, hey, if you got like 1 bajillion, 7, 9, blah, 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 that's because you hit hyperbolic sign. Just do the one that says SIN.
I did.
Yeah, mine's a negative 0.0085.
That's it.
It's pops up on the calculator or on the regular calculator.
Oh. Response is just not as good as mine. Shut up, Kevin.
That's what I got on my phone too.
Clear, clear, clear. 22. Okay. Oh, I know why. You're in, okay. All right, if you got high school, buddy, it's a Snapchat. If you got negative 0.008,
Yeah,
you'll notice there's a little RAD up there.
yeah.
Go down in the bottom corner where it says DEG,
Oh,
and then do it again.
makes sense. Yeah.
Does it? Because if I ask you what does RAD stand for, there's no way in the world.
I got negative 0.
DEG is degrees, RAD is in radians.
Yep, we're right.
Okay, so are we good here?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so let's get y by itself. How do I get y by itself?
Divide the, multiply.
Multiply by 100, that gets y by itself. So it gets 37.46. So how tall is this over here? 37.46 feet. Here, Bo.
15.
All right, now, here's what this is, guys. The sine is nothing but a ratio. It says, if I have this 100 feet, and I know I'm at 22 degrees, how much of that, what percentage of 100 is this side going to be? If I did this to the angle, what would happen to this side over here? It would get bigger and longer. So what would the sine of, say, 42, what do sine of 42? 40, sine of 42.
0.669.
0.669. So what happened when I moved the angle bigger? What happened to sine?
It doubled.
It got bigger. In fact, it almost doubled, didn't it? Because it's going to be 66% of the hypotenuse, isn't it? Now, what's going to happen to the side on the bottom? Whatever this side is, what happens when I move the angle up? Will it? This side's going to get bigger, isn't it? But what's happening to this side as I go up?
It's more.
It's going to get smaller. So let's see if that works. How do I find x? Well, let's go back to the beginning. Forget all this. We're done here. Find x. Well, what side is x?
That side.
Adjacent. And we have hypotenuse. Adjacent and hypotenuse. Adjacent, hypotenuse. Which one am I going to use? Oh, cosine right there. Cosine of x equals, oh, I'm sorry, I'm dumb. Cosine of what?
22.
22, dummy. Oh, that's x over 100. Does everybody agree?
Yes, sir.
All right. Times 100. Times 100. What's cosine of 22? 0.9271. Times 100. So what happens? 92.7. Do we agree? Now let's think about this. If the angle's real small, what's going to be true about this side down here? It's going to be almost as long, isn't it? But as the angle increases, what's going to happen to this side down here? It's going to get smaller, isn't it? Okay. Sine, cosine, and tangent are nothing but comparisons. They're percentages. What percentage is this side of this? 37%. Now, why did I choose 100? Well, because 37% turned into 37 feet, correct? If this were only, 12 feet, it would be 37% of 12. If this were 120 feet, it would be 37% of 120. Get the idea? That's how percentages work. You can change it. Why didn't I use tangent? Why didn't I use tangent? Well, when I started the problem, would opposite and adjacent have done me any good?
No.
Because why?
Sorry.
It's okay. Change your focus. Because do I know y or x? I don't know the opposite. I don't know the adjacent. I got no idea. Now, could you, once you found the 37, could I have used that to find x? Could I have used tangent now? Why wouldn't I maybe want to use tangent here with this? Well, 37.5, did I round that a little bit? So if I use my rounded number to find my next number, what's going to happen to that next number? It's going to be rounded as well. Very good. Now, this is why we did what we did. If some of you are sitting out there going, I am really confused because I didn't do my stuff, but I'm not going to say it because I don't want him to be mad at me. Here's your solution. You ready?
Do it.
Yeah, over the next 2 days, do it.
No.
Okay, get your stuff done, right? So that you can bring questions back on what day? Wednesday. And you're also going to be here Thursday. So you got me extra days this week.
Yay.
That sounds like sarcasm. All right, now.
We have to be here.
We get to be here.
No, not get to, we have to.
So, in this case, you'll notice we had sine, cosine, tangent. We also talked about how sine of x is opposite of hypotenuse, and cosecant of x was what? Hypotenuse over opposite. Okay, so in this case, hypotenuse over opposite. How in the world do I find cosecant on my phones? Everybody look at your phones. Where's the cosecant button?
There.
There isn't one.
There isn't one. Yeah, there is no cosecant button. How would you do that? Well,
I see one.
if that's cosine.
It's not COSH.
No, that's cosh. That's hyperbolic cosine. So instead of being based,
Buttons me.
hyperbolic cosine is instead of being based on this situation, it's based on this situation. And that's very different. All right, so if I have the sine of 22 and I want to find the cosecant of 22, here's what I do. Somebody find me the sine of 22.
0.3746.
If I want to find the cosecant, we know we need to flip this, correct? So here's what I do. 1 divided by sine of 22. Now here's where your iPhone calculator, Steve Jobs and Tim Apple are letting you down. Okay, because since they use reverse Polish notation, where you have to do 22 then the sine button, you can't just type in 1 divided by sine of 22. What you would have to do is you'd have to say, what's sine of 22? This, and hit 1 divided by 0.3746. Okay, so that's how you would find cosecant. You're not going to have to do this yet. What I want you to know about secant, cosecant, and cotangent is just that they're reciprocals of the other, and if I gave you a triangle, that you can pick them out of a triangle. Okay, that's what you need to know thus far. Now, let's talk about delta math. Coakley, do you have fleas?
Probably. He probably not gonna respond.
But his camera's on his dog. So, yeah, it's a very cute dog though.
Oh, please.
Way better. All right, here we go. Now, let's go over here and let's talk about ratios of special right triangles. Did we just do this together?
Yes.
Yeah, we did. Mom.
Okay, well, here we go. You ready? You ready? If this is the square root of 8, how big is this?
8. No.
Square root of 8.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then what do I multiply by to get up here? Square root of 2. So it's going to be square root of 8 times the square root of 2. What's the square root of 8 times the square root of 2? Square root of 16. What's the square root of 16?
4.
8.
4. Well, 4.
You better get it right. He got it right.
I did.
Wow.
All right.
Wow.
The way delta math explained multiplying square roots, it was like you do another one, and then it's like.
Was it confusing?
Yeah, looking at the example was.
Then pay no attention to the man behind the curtain. Yeah, don't do it that way.
Yeah. No.
Okay, in this case, oh, geez, come on, man.
Get about.
All right, let's do this one. This is the toughest type you're going to come up with. I'm a little cranky at Zach. Here we go. Now, if we have this, 1 root 2, does everybody agree with that?
Yeah.
Can we make a comparison?
Yeah.
Can I say root 3 goes with x?
Yeah.
As what? Root 2 goes with 1. Right? Here to here, here to here. Do we agree?
Yes.
Then what can we do?
Cross multiply.
Perfection. Yeah. All right. Equals root 3. So then what do I do to get x by itself?
So you gotta divide.
There it is. Now,
Oh, wait, no, this is what.
okay. Now, so thus far, are we okay? Can we go here to here, here to here? Is that okay?
Yes.
Can we cross multiply? Is that okay?
Yes.
Okay. Can we get x by itself? Is that okay?
Yes.
Okay. At this point, we go and get confused a little bit. But here's the deal. We've done this before, haven't we? How do I get rid of a square root out of the bottom?
Cancel it out. No, you don't.
Multiply the top and the bottom by the thing that is the problem. Is the square root of 2 the problem?
Sure.
It is. So let's multiply. Now what's root 2 times root 2? Root 4. What's root 4? Good. So that turns into 2. Does everybody agree? What's root 3 times root 2? Ooh, root 6. Can I break up root 6 at all? 3 and 2, but are there any pairs? No, so it has to stay. This is what's called rationalized. Just like trying to stop at a drive-through at Hardee's, this is now rationalized. Okay, so justifying eating at a place as bad as Hardee's. All right,
Could you put the answer in and see if delta math counts as like?
sure.
Because what delta math wanted us to do is just like the square root of 3 over the square root of 3.
Do you guys actually think Hardee's is bad?
No.
I think it's good.
I think it's alright.
I think it's good.
Well, it's good, it's not good for you.
Yeah, but like a lot of those places are like McDonald's, nah, but we still eat it.
Now, they probably would have,
That's nasty.
he may have accepted this. Does that make sense? He may have. But this would be, I would be shocked if he did, because he's pretty math snobby.
Who's he?
Yeah.
Okay, we have now lost her. All right, with that, let's go over here, see how fast we can do these.
He's just a hater, guys, it's okay.
Oh, I will take.
Oh, wait a minute, how about I erase all the schmutz on the board, huh?
That might be
I finally got that after like 50 tries.
So you do have a hand club?
Okay, so here we go, cosine of A. Cosine is,
Where's A?
well, here's A, so we're looking for adjacent over hypotenuse, what do you got?
36.
77 over
85.
Oh my god, I got that wrong.
36 would be on the opposite side, wouldn't it? 77 is what we're looking for. Okay,
15.
so 77 over 85. Okay, tangent of B. What's tangent made out of? Opposite over adjacent. What's opposite B?
72.
72. What's adjacent to B?
30.
So what's the answer? 72 over 30. Now, they're not even making you reduce, are they?
How do you know the order of which you will be on top?
Good question. So for example, tangent is TOA, correct? So it's opposite over adjacent. The first one's over the second one. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So opposite over adjacent, in our case, opposite is 72. Adjacent is 30, so 72 over 30. Does that work?
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
No, not a problem. This is why we're going over it. Okay, cosine of B. Cosine of B, go. Dominic, are you kidding me?
What'd you do?
Eat on the phone.
Cosine of B, 25 over,
65.
because it's 25 right next to the B.
Yes, sir.
And it's 65 hypotenuse.
Yes, sir.
25 over 65.
Go team.
All right, tangent of B.
We have to get 10 of these right.
Opposite is
I only had to do 5.
21 over 72. Tangent, 48, 36. Oh, I did. Oh, why did I get it wrong? What did I do wrong?
Because you did it wrong.
It's tangent of A. What did I do?
B.
Tangent of B. Is that a common mistake?
Yes,
Yes, it is. Okay.
We all make mistakes, so it's okay.
We do. Now, uh-oh. What are you gonna have to do?
Read it.
Read it.
I finished.
Good job, Ken.
All right, KLM.
Ken's like an overachiever, wow.
I thought they were due today.
We're gonna go with good job anyway.
Thank you.
All right, what do I put on the 90 degrees?
No, M.
M, because that's literally what it says. So where does K go and where does L go?
9,
I have no idea. I don't know.
Wait,
So I'm just gonna put them up here.
yeah, do it like that. Good job.
Sure. Could I have gotten them wrong? Yeah,
Yeah.
probably.
Probably this way.
All right, LK. LK is 85.
Yup. 85.
KM is 13.
Yup.
ML,
84.
84. Now, by the way, let's do this again. But let's say I put L here and K here. This is still 85, that's still 90. And now it says KM is 13
Oh, that-
and ML is 84.
Yeah, that don't look right.
Okay, it doesn't look right, but will it matter when I do my answer?
No.
Let's find out. We're doing the
Cosine.
cosine of,
Yay.
where's cosine of k? So I'm looking for adjacent over,
Hypotenuse.
so where's adjacent?
Nope.
13.
Nope.
Hypotenuse is,
85.
okay. Cosine of k, where's adjacent? Is it 13 over?
85.
Does it make a difference how you draw your picture?
No, it doesn't.
The only thing that's really key is making sure that the 90 degrees in the 90 degree spot.
No.
Does that make sense, guys?
No.
Oh my gosh, I'm so tired. I
All
was
right.
at 1:30. Sorry.
And then here we go. Can we do this one?
Yes.
What does it say? We're looking for BC, correct? So here we go. We want to find BC. What would you use to do this one? SOHCAHTOA. Which one?
So.
Would you use so?
I don't know.
Sine would be 79, right? Opposite would be, uh-oh. I don't know that one, do I? And do I know the hypotenuse? No, so would sine be the way to go? Cosine, how about cosine of 79? Do I know the adjacent side? Do I know the hypotenuse?
No.
No, but now I still only have one variable, don't I? Can I find this as a decimal? Like now?
0.190.
Okay. How do you get x by itself?
Multiply with 57.
Nope.
5.7.
Nope. Okay, guys, look, do I have an x on the bottom? Do I have an x on the bottom?
Yeah.
So to get rid of it, I'm going to multiply. Do we agree? Now, how do I get x by itself? I need to divide both sides by the decimal. Guys, is this basic algebra here?
Yeah.
It is. What is 5.7 divided by 0.19? 5.7 divided by 0.1908.
30.
Okay, would it make sense that if this is a really big angle, this short side is 5 or 6, that this side's going to have to be way longer? It should. So you got to set them up. All right, let's talk about homework. Here we go. Ratio of special triangles. Okay, so all of part 1, do on Wednesday. Part 2, do on Thursday. But if I were you, I would start looking towards Friday's homework and Monday's fatty worksheet. Test would be right after that.
Is it due next Monday?
This is due next Monday.
Well, is the test due next Monday?
No, That's 3A. Here, we'll get rid of this.
Wait, 3A.
Right.
It's already.
There. There you go. It's not even the right name at this point. Haven't even updated it. Okay. Snook up. All right. So. In this case, you have your homework. Get to work. All right. Ethan is already gone.